If your A1C is too high, the answer is usually not to panic over one single food. The bigger question is, what does your whole plate look like, and how often are you repeating that plate?
So it's not just cut out meat or never eat carbs or stop eating fruit.
Exactly. A turkey chili bowl can be a steady, filling meal, but if it comes with corn chips, sweet cornbread, white rice, and soda, it becomes a very different meal.
That may surprise a lot of people because most of us were taught to look at one food at a time.
And that is where many people get confused. Same word, yogurt. Completely different meal. Same word, fish. Completely different plate. Same word, beef. Completely different pattern.
So today we're going to talk about 7 meals that can help people with high A1C think more clearly about food without fear, without shame, and without turning dinner into a medical exam.
And one more important point. If someone takes insulin or diabetes medication, they should not suddenly cut carbs or stop medication on their own. Better meals can change blood sugar, and those changes need to be handled safely.
If your A1C is too high, every meal can start to feel like a mistake. You look at your plate and wonder, should I stop eating meat? Should I cut out carbs? Should I avoid rice, bread, pasta, or fruit? Should I just wait for another prescription? And if you've been watching health videos or reading comments online, the advice can feel even more confusing. One person says red meat is the problem. Another person says carbs are the problem. Someone else says changing their meals help their blood sugar and A1C. So what should you actually eat? That is the question we're answering in this conversation. Not with a magic food, not by blaming one food, and not by replacing your doctor. Today, we're talking about the meals you repeat every day, because those meals are what shape your blood sugar over time. And the phrase I want you to keep in mind from the beginning is this. Look at the whole plate, not just one food. Part 1B, early relationship. And before we go deeper, if conversations like this help you understand your health with less fear and more clarity, consider subscribing. This show is made for adults who want simple, practical health conversations, especially people over 45 who are trying to make sense of blood sugar, A1C, weight, energy, medications, and what to eat next. And as you listen today, I want you to keep one question in the back of your mind. Which one of these meals feels easiest for me to try this week? Not 7 meals, not a perfect diet, just one better plate. Part 2, topic setup. Today, we're talking about the top 7 best meals for diabetes when your A1C is too high. But we are not talking about meals in a strict, complicated, unrealistic way. We're talking about meals people can actually repeat, because when people search for diabetes symptoms or senior health advice, they are often not looking for a complicated medical lecture. They are looking for something simple. What is happening to my body and what can I do at my next meal? And that is exactly the spirit of today's episode. We're going to talk about breakfast, lunch, dinner, protein, vegetables, beans, yogurt, beef, fish, sauces, drinks, and the hidden mistakes that can turn a healthy looking meal into a blood sugar problem. And we'll keep returning to one idea. Your blood sugar is shaped by the meals you repeat every day. Part 3, expert identity hook. Doctor, before we get into the actual meals, I want to ask you something. When someone comes in worried about high A1C, what do you notice first? What are they usually confused about?
What I notice is that many people are not careless, they are confused. They have heard too many simple rules that do not tell the whole story. They hear, carbs are bad. Then they hear, meat is bad. Then they hear, fruit is sugar. Then they hear, beans are carbs. Then someone online says they changed one thing and their numbers improved. So the person sitting at home feels trapped. They think, What am I supposed to eat? And that is why I like to bring the conversation back to the plate. A meal is not just one food. A meal is the combination of protein, vegetables, carbohydrates, fat, fiber, sauce, drink, and portion size. So instead of asking, is this one food good or bad? A better question is, what does the whole meal look like? And how often am I repeating it?
That already feels more realistic because most people are not eating one food by itself. They are eating a full meal.
Exactly. And for people over 45 or over 60, this matters even more because blood sugar is often connected with other concerns too. Energy, muscle, balance, blood pressure, cholesterol, heart health, kidney health, medications, and daily habits. So we want food advice that is simple, but also responsible. Part 4, medical disclaimer.
Before we go further, a quick safety note. This conversation is for educational purposes only. It is not a replacement for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have diabetes, high A1C, kidney disease, heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or if you take insulin or diabetes medication, please talk with your healthcare provider before making major changes to your eating pattern. And do not stop medication on your own. Food changes can change blood sugar. That can be helpful, but it also means some people need to track their numbers and adjust safely with medical guidance. Part 5, everyday story. Let's picture someone named Robert. He's 63, lives in Michigan, and he has always thought of himself as a pretty normal eater. He has coffee in the morning, maybe toast or cereal, a sandwich for lunch, and whatever is easy for dinner. But at his last checkup, his doctor said his A1C was too high. Now Robert feels nervous every time he eats. He looks at chicken chili and thinks, are beans bad? He looks at yogurt and thinks, is this healthy or full of sugar? He looks at steak and thinks, do I have to give up beef completely? He looks at fruit and thinks, can I even eat berries anymore? And at dinner he thinks, maybe I should just stop eating carbs entirely. But he also knows he cannot live on confusion. He wants something practical. So, doctor, when someone like Robert is worried about high A1C and feels like every meal is a mistake, what should he understand first? Part 6, beginner explanation.
The first thing to understand is what A1C means. A1C is like a report card for your blood sugar over the last 2 to 3 months. A fingerstick blood sugar reading tells you what your blood sugar is right now, but A1C tells the longer story. It helps show whether your daily meals, drinks, movement, medication, sleep, stress, and routine are working together or working against you. In general, an A1C below 5.7 is considered normal. From 5.7 to 6.4 is often called prediabetes, and 6.5 or higher may point to diabetes, but that should always be confirmed with a healthcare provider.
So A1C is not just about what someone ate last night.
Right, that is important. A high A1C is not usually about one single meal. It is about the pattern that has been happening over time. And some diabetes symptoms can be easy to miss, especially as people get older. Things like unusual thirst, frequent urination, blurry vision, fatigue, or feeling like your energy is not the same. That is why senior health should include regular checkups, blood tests, and honest conversations with a healthcare provider, not just guessing from how you feel.
So if someone hears that their A1C is high, they should not panic, but they should not ignore it either.
Exactly. A high A1C is not a life sentence. It is a warning light. And one of the first places to look is not just one food, it is the whole plate. A simple way to build a better plate is this. Half the plate should be non-starchy vegetables. 1/4 should be protein. and 1/4 can be quality carbohydrates if they fit your plan. This is not about eating perfectly. It is about building meals that are easier on your blood sugar and easier to repeat in real life. Because the truth is simple. Blood sugar is shaped by the meals you repeat every day. Part 7, Core Problem Block.
Let's stay with that for a second. When people with high A1C are trying to figure out what to eat, what is the core problem they often miss?
The core problem is that many people focus on one food instead of the whole meal. They ask, is beef bad? But they do not ask, was it lean beef with vegetables? Or was it a burger with a white bun, fries, soda, ketchup and dessert? They ask, are beans bad? But they do not ask, was it a moderate portion of beans in a vegetable soup? Or was it a giant bowl of beans with crackers, bread, rice, sweet tea and dessert? They ask, is yogurt healthy? But they do not ask, was it plain Greek yogurt with berries and nuts? Or sweetened yogurt with honey, granola, dried fruit, banana and juice? So, the word itself does not tell you enough. Same word, different meal, same ingredient, different blood sugar effect.
So for someone sitting at home, the practical question is not just, can I eat this? It is, what else is on the plate?
Exactly. And that is why we are going to walk through these 7 meals carefully, not just naming them. We are going to talk about how to build them, what mistakes to avoid, and how to think about them in real life.
Good. And I think this is where a lot of listeners will lean in, because many people do not need a perfect diet. They need meals they can repeat. So before we get to the list, let's talk about the mistakes that can turn a good meal into a blood sugar problem. Part 8, common mistakes. What is one mistake people make because they think they are doing the right thing?
One common mistake is trusting the name of a food without checking what is actually in the meal. For example, someone hears yogurt and assumes it is healthy. But if it is sweetened yogurt, fruit on the bottom yogurt, honey-flavored yogurt, or dessert-style yogurt, it can contain a lot of added sugar. Then they add sweet granola, dried cranberries, banana, honey, and a glass of orange juice. Now what looked like a healthy breakfast has become a bowl of fast sugar. The problem is not that the person is careless. The problem is that the food looked healthy.
That is very common. What is another mistake?
Another mistake is thinking that all carbohydrates are the same. Beans and lentils contain carbohydrates, yes. So, portion matters. But beans and lentils also bring fiber and some plant-based protein. They are very different from white bread, candy, soda or sugary cereal. Low carb does not always mean no carb. For some people, reducing refined carbs can help. But the goal is not to fear every bean, every berry, or every bite of real food. The goal is to choose carbohydrates carefully, watch the portion, and see how your own body responds.
And what is the mistake that worries you most?
The mistake that worries me most is when someone suddenly makes major food changes while taking insulin or diabetes medication, but does not track blood sugar or talk with their healthcare provider. Better meals can change blood sugar. And if food changes but medication stays the same, blood sugar can drop too low in some people. So no one should suddenly cut carbs, stop medication, or make extreme changes without guidance. The safe approach is to track numbers, talk with a healthcare provider, and make changes carefully.
That is a very important point. People usually worry about blood sugar being too high, but they also need to understand that changing food quickly can affect medication needs. That leads to another question I think many people have. Part 9, host pushback, skeptical question. Some people listening might say, but isn't this just what happens when you get older? Your numbers go up, your energy changes, and your body doesn't handle food the same way. How would you answer that without scaring people?
I would say it is true that the body can change with age. After 45 or 60, many people notice changes in muscle, activity level, sleep, weight, hormones, medications, stress, and recovery. Those changes can affect blood sugar. But common does not mean harmless, and common does not mean you should ignore it. If A1C is high, it is worth paying attention calmly, not with panic, not with shame, but with curiosity. What meals are repeated most often? How much starch is on the plate? Are there enough vegetables? Is there protein? Are there sugary drinks? Are sauces adding sugar? Are snacks happening because meals are not filling? This is not about blaming age. It is about asking, what can I improve safely from here?
So we are not saying every change is dangerous, but we are saying repeated signals deserve attention.
Exactly. Calm attention. Part 10, warning signs or things to watch.
What signs should someone over 45 pay attention to without immediately panicking?
Some symptoms can be easy to miss, especially as people get older. Things like unusual thirst, frequent urination, blurry vision, fatigue, feeling like your energy is not the same, or noticing that your numbers are changing at checkups. These symptoms do not automatically mean one specific condition. They can have different causes. But if they are new, persistent, severe, getting worse, or happening along with high blood sugar readings or high A1C, it is worth discussing them with a healthcare provider.
And when should someone stop guessing and talk to a doctor?
They should talk with a healthcare provider if their A1C is high, if they have symptoms that concern them, if they take diabetes medication or insulin, or if they also have conditions like kidney disease, heart disease, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol. And if someone has severe symptoms such as confusion, fainting, chest pain, severe weakness, or very high or very low blood sugar readings based on their care plan, they should seek medical help promptly. Again, the message is not panic. The message is, do not guess alone. Part 11, mini climax, surprising moment.
What is one thing you wish people understood earlier when they are trying to lower or manage A1C?
I wish people understood this. Your A1C did not rise because of one single meal, and it usually does not improve because of one perfect meal either. It changes from the pattern you repeat, the breakfast you eat most mornings, the drink you choose with lunch, the sauce you pour without thinking, the snack you reach for at night, the plate you build again and again. That is why these 7 meals matter. Not because they are magic, but because they give you a better pattern to come back to.
That is the line I want people to remember. Not magic, a better pattern. So let's now walk through the 7 meals in detail. Part 12, optional mid-roll CTA sponsor placeholder. In a moment, we're going meal by meal from number 7 all the way to number 1. And as we go, I want you to listen for the hidden pattern. It is not just protein. It is not just low carb. It is not just avoiding sugar. It is the whole plate. If this conversation is helping you understand food and blood sugar more clearly, leave a comment with one meal that confuses you the most. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, fruit, rice, bread, meat. Your comments help us know what questions to ask in future episodes. Now let's get practical. Part 13, practical solution block meal, 7 turkey or chicken chili with vegetables. Let's start with meal number 7, turkey or chicken chili with vegetables. Why is this a good place to begin?
This is a good place to start because many people with diabetes do not need fancy food. They need meals they can repeat. Meals that are warm, filling, simple, and easier on blood sugar. Turkey or chicken chili can be one of those meals if it is built the right way. Start with ground turkey or chicken as your main protein. Then add plenty of non-starchy vegetables such as tomatoes, peppers, onions, celery, zucchini, mushrooms, spinach, or cabbage.
And what about beans? Because I know a lot of people hear beans and immediately think, aren't those carbs?
That is a good question. If you add beans, keep the portion reasonable. Beans do contain carbohydrates, but they also bring fiber and some protein. So they are very different from eating white bread, candy, or drinking soda. The key is the whole bowl. A smart chili bowl gives you protein, vegetables, fiber, and flavor, but the wrong chili meal can turn into a blood sugar problem very quickly.
What turns it into a problem?
It often happens when people add corn chips, sweet cornbread, a large scoop of white rice, sugary sauce, or soda on the side. So remember this. The problem is not always the chili. Sometimes it is what comes with the chili. For a better diabetes-friendly version, keep it simple. Turkey or chicken, lots of vegetables, a moderate portion of beans if they fit your plan, no sugary drink, no pile of chips on top.
That is a very real life point because people might say, I made chili, but the whole meal around it changes everything.
Exactly. And this meal can work well for people over 60 because you can cook one pot and eat it for more than one meal. That matters because blood sugar is not shaped by one perfect dinner. It is shaped by the meals you repeat week after week.
So before we move to meal number 6, here is the question for the listener. Is this meal mostly protein and vegetables, or did I turn it into a bowl of starch and sugar? That is a strong question to carry into the next meal. Meal 6, lentil or bean soup with extra vegetables. Meal number 6 is lentil or bean soup with extra vegetables. And I can already hear some people saying, wait, aren't beans carbs? Shouldn't people with diabetes avoid them? How do you answer that?
That is a smart question. Beans and lentils do contain carbohydrates. So yes, portion matters. But beans are not the same as white bread, candy, soda, or a bowl of sugary cereal. Beans and lentils also bring fiber and some plant-based protein, which can make them more filling and slower than many refined carbohydrates. So, the mistake is not simply eating beans. The mistake is eating a giant bowl of bean soup with crackers, bread, rice, sweet tea, and dessert, and then wondering why blood sugar went up.
So again, the issue is the whole meal, not just the bean.
Exactly. To build this meal the right way, start with a moderate portion of lentils or beans. Then add extra non-starchy vegetables like spinach, celery, cabbage, mushrooms, tomatoes, zucchini, peppers, or greens. If you need more protein, you could add chicken, turkey, fish, tofu, or an egg on the side, depending on your health plan and preferences. This is where the whole plate matters again. A smaller bowl of lentil soup with vegetables and protein is very different from a meal where starch takes over the entire table.
That sentence is important. Starch takes over the entire table because a lot of people are not eating just one carb, they are stacking carbs.
Right. They might have beans, then crackers, then bread, then rice, then sweet tea, then dessert. Each one may seem normal in the moment, but together they can become too much for blood sugar. Low carb does not always mean no carb. For some people, reducing refined carbs can help, but the goal is not to fear every bean, every berry, or every bite of real food. The goal is to choose carbs carefully, watch the portion, and see how your own body responds. Of real food. The goal is to choose carbs carefully, watch the portion, and see how your own body responds.
So before moving to meal number 5, the listener can ask, did I use beans as one part of the meal, or did I let starch become the whole meal? That is a simple but powerful check. Meal 5, plain Greek yogurt or cottage cheese bowl. Meal number 5 is a plain Greek yogurt or cottage cheese bowl. And this one deserves more attention than most people give it, because breakfast and snacks are where blood sugar problems can quietly begin. Why is that?
Because many people are not eating candy and they are not drinking soda, but they are still getting a lot of sugar from foods that look healthy. Yogurt is a perfect example. Someone may think, I'm making a healthy choice. But then they look closer and realize the yogurt is sweetened, the granola is full of sugar, the dried fruit is concentrated sugar, and the healthy drink on the side is orange juice. That is why this meal can either help you build a steadier day or quietly turn into dessert in a bowl.
So how do we build the better version?
Start with plain Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. The word plain matters, not vanilla, not fruit on the bottom, not honey flavored, not dessert style yogurt. Plain. Then add a small amount of chia seeds, ground flaxseed, walnuts, almonds or pecans. For sweetness, use a small serving of berries like blueberries, strawberries, raspberries or blackberries. This gives you protein, some fat, fiber and flavor without turning the bowl into a sugar bomb.
And for people over 60, there is another reason this matters, right?
Yes, as we age, protein becomes more important for strength, muscle, balance, and staying independent. So this meal is not just about blood sugar. It is also about helping you stay full and supporting your body with real nourishment. But here is where many people make the mistake. They start with yogurt, then add honey, then sweet granola, then dried cranberries, then a banana, then a glass of juice. And suddenly, what looked like a healthy breakfast became a bowl of fast sugar.
That is one of the clearest examples in this whole conversation. Same word, yogurt, completely different meal.
Exactly. So the rule is simple. Look at the whole bowl, not just the healthy-looking name.
Before we move to meal number 4, ask yourself, is my breakfast giving me protein and fiber, or is it secretly giving me sugar with a healthy label? And that question probably applies to a lot of kitchens in America. Meal 4, lean beef stir fry with non-starchy vegetables. Meal number 4 is lean beef stir fry with non-starchy vegetables. And this one needs a careful explanation because red meat is one of the most confusing topics for people with diabetes. Some headlines make it sound like red meat is the whole problem. Some people online say red meat helped them cut carbs and improve their numbers. So many viewers are left asking, do I have to give up beef completely? Is steak really the problem? Or is it the bun, fries, soda, rice, bread, pasta, and sweet sauce around it? What is the balanced answer?
Exactly. So the rule is simple. Look at the whole bowl, not just the healthy-looking name. The balanced answer is this. You do not need to put every kind of meat in the same box. But you also should not treat red meat like a free pass. For people with diabetes, the smarter approach is not fear. It is choice, portion, and the whole plate. If you eat beef, choose a leaner cut, such as sirloin, round, flank, or tenderloin. Trim visible fat when you can. Slice it thin And keep the portion reasonable. About the size of your palm is a simple way to picture it. Then build the rest of the meal around non-starchy vegetables.
What vegetables work well here?
Use vegetables like broccoli, cabbage, mushrooms, bell peppers, green beans, zucchini, spinach, onions, or asparagus. This is what makes the meal different. A small portion of lean beef with a large amount of vegetables is not the same as a fast food burger meal with a white bun, fries, soda, ketchup, and dessert. Samawud, beef. Completely different plate.
That phrase keeps coming back because it really is the heart of the episode. Same word, completely different plate. What about sauces?
Sauces matter a lot. Many stir-fry sauces are full of sugar. Teriyaki sauce, sweet chili sauce, bottled glazes, and restaurant sauces can turn a good meal into a blood sugar problem. And for many older adults, sodium matters too. High sodium sauces and processed meats can be a problem not only for blood sugar habits, but also for blood pressure. So keep the flavor simple. Use garlic, ginger, black pepper, herbs, vinegar, lemon, or a small amount of low-sodium soy sauce if it fits your plan. Do not burn it. Do not char it. Do not drown it in oil. And do not turn it into a greasy, salty, sugary, takeout-style meal.
So what does the better plate look like?
A better plate looks like this. Half the plate, non-starchy vegetables. 1/4, lean beef. 1/4, a quality carb if it fits your plan. And the drink. Water or unsweetened tea. That is the key. The problem is not always one food. Sometimes the problem is the whole pattern. The giant rice portion, the sweet sauce, the fried side, the processed meat, the soda, and the dessert.
This meal teaches an important lesson. Not all meat belongs in the same box.
Exactly. Fresh lean beef in a vegetable stir-fry is not the same as bacon, hot dogs, sausage, deli meat, or a fast food combo meal. But that does not mean someone should eat unlimited red meat either. If your A1C is high, if your cholesterol is high, if you have kidney disease, heart disease, or high blood pressure, this is something to discuss with your healthcare provider. The goal is not to win an argument about meat. The goal is to build a plate that helps your blood sugar, your heart, and your long-term health.
Before we move to meal number 3, ask yourself, is this a fresh, balanced meal, or did I turn it into a processed, high sugar, high starch, high sodium meal? That question alone could change how someone orders takeout. Meal 3, egg and vegetable omelet with berries. Meal number 3 is an egg and vegetable omelet with berries on the side. And this meal solves one of the biggest problems many people with diabetes never connect to their A1C. The way they start the morning. Why does breakfast matter so much?
A lot of people worry about dinner. They worry about steak. They worry about rice. They worry about medication. But for many people, blood sugar trouble starts before lunch. It starts with cereal, white toast, jam, pancakes, sweet coffee, orange juice, or a small breakfast that is mostly fast carbohydrate. A breakfast can look small and still hit your blood sugar hard if most of it is cereal, toast, juice, or sweet coffee. And if someone has ever thought, my A1C is improving, but my morning glucose still worries me, breakfast is one place worth checking.
So the question is, am I starting my day with protein and fiber, or am I starting my day with sugar and starch?
Exactly. Start with eggs. Protein at breakfast does not magically fix diabetes, but it can make the meal more filling and help you avoid starting the day with fast sugar. Then add non-starchy vegetables like spinach, mushrooms, onions, bell peppers, tomatoes, zucchini, broccoli, or cabbage. Now your breakfast is not just eggs. It becomes a real meal with protein, volume, and fiber. Then add a small serving of berries on the side. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, or blackberries.
Why berries instead of juice?
Because juice can hit blood sugar much faster. Whole berries still give sweetness, but they come with fiber and a portion you can control. This is the difference. An omelette with vegetables and berries is a blood sugar-friendly breakfast pattern. But an omelette with white toast, hash browns, orange juice, sweet coffee, and a pastry is a completely different meal. Same breakfast table, completely different blood sugar effect.
And for people over 60, this sounds practical too.
It is soft, easy to chew, and quick to make. If making a full omelette feels like too much, keep it easier. Scramble the eggs. Use leftover cooked vegetables, or prepare chopped vegetables the night before. The best meal is not the perfect one. It is the one you can repeat. If you are worried about cholesterol, heart disease, or kidney disease, talk with your healthcare provider about how often eggs fit your personal plan. But do not miss the bigger lesson here. A better breakfast is not about eating less and staying hungry. It is about replacing fast sugar with protein, vegetables, and a small controlled portion of whole fruit.
Before we move to meal number 2, ask yourself, is my breakfast helping my blood sugar stay steady, or is it putting me on a roller coaster before the day even begins? That is a strong morning question. Meal 2, chicken or turkey salad with avocado. Meal number 2 is chicken or turkey salad with avocado. And before anyone thinks a salad that is not a real meal, let's talk about what a real diabetes-friendly salad actually looks like.
A diabetes-friendly salad is not a sad little bowl of lettuce. If you build it the right way, it can be one of the most filling, steady, and repeatable meals on this list. The problem is that many people build salad the wrong way. They start with lettuce, but then add fried chicken, croutons, sweet dressing, candied nuts, dried cranberries, cheese piled too high, and a sugary drink on the side. At that point, the salad is not the problem. The toppings are...
So what is the better version?
Start with a real protein, grilled chicken breast, turkey breast, or leftover roasted chicken or turkey. Then add a large amount of non-starchy vegetables, romaine, spinach, cucumber, tomatoes, bell peppers, cabbage, broccoli slaw, mushrooms, green beans, or any greens you actually enjoy. Then add avocado or a small amount of olive oil-based dressing with no added sugar. This is what makes the meal work. The chicken or turkey gives you protein. The vegetables give you volume and fiber. The avocado gives you satisfaction. And because the meal is not built around bread, pasta or sugar, it may be easier on blood sugar than many common lunches.
You said something important there, satisfaction. Because a lot of people with high A1C are not just eating too much sugar, they are eating meals that do not keep them full.
Start with a real protein, grilled chicken breast, turkey breast, or leftover roasted chicken or turkey. Then add a large amount of non-starchy vegetables, romaine, spinach, cucumber, tomatoes, bell peppers, cabbage, broccoli slaw, mushrooms, green beans, or any greens you actually enjoy. Then add avocado or a small amount of olive oil-based dressing with no added sugar. This is what makes the meal work. The chicken or turkey gives you protein. The vegetables give you volume and fiber. The avocado gives you satisfaction. And because the meal is not built around bread, pasta or sugar, it may be easier on blood sugar than many common lunches.
So before we move to meal number 1, ask yourself, Is my salad built to keep me full and steady, or is it just a pile of hidden sugar, starch, and dressing? That is a very different way to look at lunch. MEAL1 salmon with non-starchy vegetables and a small quality carb. Meal number 1 is salmon with non-starchy vegetables and a small quality carb. Why does this meal earn the number 1 spot?
It earns the number 1 spot because it solves one of the biggest questions people with diabetes ask. What can I eat for dinner that feels like a real meal, keeps me full, and does not turn my blood sugar into a roller coaster? This meal is not extreme. It is not about fear, and it is not about removing every carb from your life. It is about building the plate correctly. Start with salmon as your protein. Then fill half the plate with non-starchy vegetables like broccoli, asparagus, green beans, spinach, cabbage, zucchini, mushrooms, peppers, or a large salad. Then, if it fits your personal plan, add a small portion of a quality carbohydrate. That could be beans, lentils, quinoa, sweet potato, brown rice, or another carbohydrate your healthcare provider or dietitian says works for you. But here is the key. The carb is not the whole plate. The carb is one part of the plate.
So salmon can be a strong choice, but it still depends on how the whole meal is built?
Exactly. Salmon can be a strong choice, but salmon covered in sweet glaze, sitting on a giant pile of white rice with a sugary drink on the side, becomes a very different meal. So when you build this plate, ask, how is the fish cooked? Is it baked, grilled, or lightly pan-cooked, or is it deep fried? Where are the vegetables? How much starch is on the plate? Is there sugar in the sauce? And what am I drinking with it? For people over 60, this meal is especially useful because it can be simple. You do not need a fancy recipe. You can use fresh salmon, you can use frozen salmon, you can use canned salmon if you choose a lower sodium option and it fits your health plan. And if salmon is too expensive or not available, you can use another fish you enjoy, such as sardines, trout, tuna, cod, or tilapia. The goal is not perfection. The goal is a meal pattern. You can repeat protein, vegetables, controlled carbs, no sugary drink, simple cooking. That is the pattern.
And this also helps solve another problem people mention all the time. They eat a light meal, then get hungry later and reach for crackers, cookies, chips, sweet coffee, or something quick from the pantry.
Health expert, right. A balanced salmon plate can help someone feel more satisfied because it gives protein, vegetables, and enough structure to feel like a real dinner. That matters because blood sugar is not shaped by one perfect meal. It is shaped by the meals you repeat every day.
So before we leave the list, ask yourself, does my dinner plate help my blood sugar stay steadier, or did I turn one healthy food into a high sugar, high starch meal? That question is exactly why salmon with vegetables and a small quality carb belongs in number 1, part 14, average listener bridge. Let's bring this back to the person listening at home. Maybe they are over 60. Maybe their doctor just told them their A1C is high. Maybe they are trying to eat better, but they feel like every food has a warning label now. Maybe they are scared to eat carbs. Maybe they are tired of hearing arguments about meat, fruit, rice, and beans.
Remember
what would you
this.
say to that person?
Look at the whole plate, not just one food. Your A1C did not rise because of one single meal. And it usually does not improve because of one perfect meal either. It changes from the pattern you repeat, the breakfast you eat most mornings, the drink you choose with lunch, the sauce you pour without thinking, the snack you reach for at night, the plate you build again and again. So start with your next plate. Add protein, add non-starchy vegetables, control the starch, remove the sugary drink, watch the sauce. Keep it simple. Repeat it often. And work with your doctor as your numbers change. Part sets.
Host recap. So let me bring this together. Today, we learned 3 important things. First, A1C is like a report card for blood sugar over the last 2 to 3 months. A high A1C is not a life sentence. It is a warning light. Second, the whole plate matters more than the name of one food. Chili can be helpful or not. Yogurt can be helpful or not. Beef can be helpful or not. Fish can be helpful or not. It depends on the portion, the sides, the sauce, the drink, and the pattern. Third, you do not need to change everything at once. Pick one meal from this list and practice it 2 or 3 times this week. Turkey or chicken chili with vegetables, lentil or bean soup with extra vegetables, plain Greek yogurt or cottage cheese with berries and nuts, lean beef stir fry with non-starchy vegetables, egg and vegetable omelet with berries, chicken or turkey salad with avocado, salmon with non-starchy vegetables and a small quality carb. You do not need to panic, but you also do not need to ignore your body. Small signals deserve calm attention. A high A1C is a warning light, and a warning light is not there to shame you. It is there to help you change direction before things get worse. Pard decept final human message plus CTA. So here is your simple challenge. Do not try to change your whole life tomorrow. Pick one meal from this list. Just one. Maybe it is the egg and vegetable omelet instead of cereal and juice. Maybe it is chicken salad with avocado instead of a sandwich and chips. Maybe it is salmon with vegetables instead of fried fish and fries. Try that one meal 2 or 3 times this week, and then pay attention. Do you feel fuller? Do you snack less? Is your energy steadier? And if you check blood sugar, what does your body show you? And again, one important safety note, if you take insulin or diabetes medication, do not suddenly cut carbs or stop medication on your own. Better meals can change your blood sugar, and if your food changes but your medication stays the same, your blood sugar can drop too low. So track your numbers, talk with your healthcare provider, and make changes safely. A high A1C is not a life sentence. It is a warning light, and a warning light is not there to shame you. It is there to help you change direction before things get worse. So start with your next plate. Add protein, add non-starchy vegetables, control the starch, remove the sugary drink, watch the sauce, keep it simple, repeat it often, and work with your doctor as your numbers change, and because your next better number may begin with your next better meal. If this conversation helped you understand what to eat when your A1C is high, subscribe for more simple health conversations for people over 45, and tell us in the comments which meal feels easiest for you to try this week. Your answer helps us make the next episode more useful for you.